Now I'm there, yeah. Osako Asempa, listen to this fool again. Me chama DB, me nurse for na mosham no muntie me.
I think in this statement, it was not captured here, say, or more air for me committee, but subsequent interviews, the minister can say, we're putting a committee together to investigate in Samoa a course. Adia Bakwe striking me in this statement, and they said, ministry said they want to investigate the circumstances that led to the reported delay in care. Like I say, most members in our hospital may have contributed to the course.
I've taken my first thing. Okay, at least third and fourth point. It makes sense. And now, what are the security implications? Why do you not be properly unconscious? They can't say, well, I mean, they are trying to beef up internal security. The police, they have a police post close to the mortuary and all that. All those people were there, and I started when you see it. And the security situation has not been improved, and we are not happy about that. At the time, here my tiny second point. Minister who said there are systems over there. If he doesn't understand, he should get somebody to educate him. And I make a choice. Triage system, so yes, Obi, don't buy a house. Maybe can't buy into the shame.
Yeah, Doc, I get you, but I think because
triage, Nia, he said, oh yeah, Reno, a immediate care, and I say a delayed care as compared to others. If you shall know the immediate care, they will attend to you immediately. So open by time, actually others, and I said they will neglect you. They will give you first aid or whatever, but they will attend to other people who need more a year. It doesn't mean that they are delaying whatever. So that statement doesn't make sense to me at all. It doesn't make sense. Whoever wrote that statement doesn't even understand the hospital system. Or a farmer resident. What kind of life is that? Meanwhile, you are called disaster when you are told about a young statement. Sunday, no, your man for call, and then my man for call. And then you are any hospital directors now for Casanonia. What delay? Now, what banner a month for you are the whole general fracture base of car near Fenda? Yen, we are passing one. There is system delay. What kind of delay? There was no such delay. They went strictly by the lay down protocol. And then they said, now that's to Obia fracture base of car near Fenda. What's your name? Then the minister. See, what is even more annoying is what the minister did. His statements run contrary to his posture. Rap now, or no answer and phone, embrace. Look at the pictures on social media. He affectionately embraced the rap guy, somebody who has been fingered as the perpetrator of that heinous crime. You embraced him, and then the guy whispered into his ears, and he was smiling. Whether it was sexing or whatever, how did the guy go to know that the minister had come there? I'll rush about her immediately.
Yeah, Doc, I get your point, but I just wanted to draw your attention, sir. In all of this, it is the Minister of Health we are talking about. Some of the statements might sound a bit too harsh. As far as Oyo sector minister, you should be minded by that.
I agree with you, Obi, but you see, Papa no how can you treat nurses like this? It's a case of disrespect. You go and embrace the very guy, and look, initially, he was being defended, so management. It's not true. Look, respect
So you see, yeah. Now, first interview now, boy, his argument was that strike see and a minister could fire other people to replace interim. Say, omo negotiating retired nurses enye dwuma no. In the first interview or show the reason why or no embu minister no. In the second interview the problem say minister ni nimi nyansa. The ministry released a statement. It is not the responsibility of the minister to even come to the hospital. It is not. Now, momiente minister the reason tia Ralph na ama aponchireni anyway AD minister na tem no. The minister was accompanied by other people. Remember, the minister of health is not only minister for nurses and doctors. He's a minister for Ghana. At that point, Ralph no, he has not been charged. He's not a criminal. No police officer has handcuffed him. No official complaint had been made that Ralph standing at the hospital is a criminal or is under criminal investigations and nobody can go close to him or he cannot talk to anybody. It is when minister comes to a place and nobody there has been charged of any criminality officially or is a criminal and somebody walks to the minister. The minister of health is not a minister for only nurses and midwives or doctors. The minister of health is a minister for Ghanaians. Into Minister Drew or Nasa Obi stretching and sa Echian in Semno Kabibichena. Does it make it look say a seminar is because if it is a criminal matter, is the minister an investigator? If it is a criminal matter, is the minister a police officer? So if the minister out of courtesy and respect na otin in such will be na se nipa ka asem gu na suma, that reaction there will not stop the crime from being investigated. This is a fooler. He's hiding behind nurses, normal destroy nurses' life. Let's listen to the minister.
Let me at this point reiterate to the whole country that irrespective of the level of provocation at any health facility in this country, nobody, irrespective of your status in society, absolutely nobody has the right to attack any health professional in this country. That is the gravamen of the issue. No diversionary tactics about handshaking. That is what we must concentrate on, to send a clear signal that our health professionals working at the various health facilities are safe. And so after the engagement with the management, when I pulled out of the wards, then in fact, in the engagement with the management, I made it clear to them that I had listened to their side of the story. And therefore, as a minister, I will also listen to the other side of the story. And I then constituted a committee to look into the matter, bring out recommendations for implementation. A lawyer, a nurse, a medical doctor, an auditor, an HR person to go into the matter. Now, when I pulled out, my attention was drawn to a gentleman called Ralph, who was at the center of the controversy. And so he was working towards us as a group. The medical director was with me. The deputy director general was also with me. Then I asked, why did you do this, gentleman? When I asked, most of you were there. I mean, the press, you were there. So you can attest to what I'm saying. You were there with me. When I asked him, the gentleman then stretched his hand, shaking me and trying to whisper something into my ears. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, should I push the guy that don't whisper anything into my ears? Should I snub him? Should I shout at him? Even if that guy has been prosecuted and sentenced to life imprisonment, and he stretches his hand to shake me, as a minister, as a public officer, I have the duty to stretch and greet him. So let us not reduce the fact that I shook hands with him does not mean that I should stop any measure or any steps that the ministry or government will take to unravel the situation.
So basically, Minister Nekohono, Ubia Oho, Abrante Ralph na, he was in the middle of this controversy. Police in Chino. The hospital has not made any official complaint to the police. At that moment, Ralph is not a criminal. The management of the hospital know the right thing to do. In fact, issue you see, say there was security or police station where what did the security do? It wasn't because onim the oyo he was doing pure politics. At a point, or to be an okra catcher ministers and who you queeniana. This guy, Okasa Asempano, or be an obusa minister, now minister, or health minister, who you queeniana. Sanquasia four way be a so muso or Ghana. Akando is a farmer, and there's nothing wrong being a farmer. We need more farmers in Ghana. The president of the Republic of Ghana is one of the biggest farmers in Ghana. Most of the rich people who are intelligent in Africa are into farming. But this guy who says he's a doctor, debi ameka se we mu no mo jimi. Debi ameka che Ghana for say sankwasiafo we no omo jimi. This guy is going in, he's doing politics. You know why? Mamika be trouble. For him to even just insult farmers. Only any position biao, a association or a secretary. Meti yakwasia we chradio Legon. I hope it is not right. I hope it is not true. Because if you are a lecturer, you are somebody at the University of Ghana. For this guy to stand on or to sit on radio, national radio, to say, Minister, are you a farmer? I expect people who are rational and intelligent in Ghana to make sure whatever position this fool is occupying, Ochina, he needs to resign. Kwasewe needs to be kicked out. This guy is using the nurses for his own political vendetta. There is a calculated attempt to sit behind the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association to do politics and destroy people. They don't like Akando. In the previous administration, how many times did you see the Minister of Health enter a hospital without any announcement? How many times did you see that? Not in C. For 8 years, Ajima Menu, the chain smoker, never entered any hospital. Impromptu. And I said, without announcing, a BNC that. Do you know? For the past 8 years, what these people enjoyed as the leadership of GRNMS, whatever, no, they were being broadcast by the ministry, politicians. In Bibi, they have this cartel, and it is led by this guy and the president of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association. This is what they do. A buying buyer every year be a momuka. Now, since Akando took over, Akando made sure, say, he wasn't going to use his office to be buying cars for people who lead associations. And that was from day one. Some of them came together to say, we are going to embarrass this government and whoever is the minister. And then they started striking. You know? The president of this association, Nikuru, MPP chairman. So this boy right now, the lady knows, says she has been exposed politically. Into Onwe take a step back. And Oma Akwawe MPP bidding. Into the agenda is that let us disgrace the minister. Let us disgrace the government. Because Oshe Asamo Yawesia a purely managerial issue. A purely managerial. The minister came in out of courtesy. Nobody can blame the minister for what happened at Ridge Hospital because the minister at Accra, as some see Obuasi Regional Hospital and now Obuasi District Hospital. Do you expect the minister to come all the way to Obuasi to issue an arrest? Are you stupid? The minister took steps, all because of proximity. Maybe an office war, and maybe a Ridge Hospital war. That is why the minister, out of courtesy and also feel a sense of responsibility, walked there. It is not the responsibility of the minister to issue an arrest or arrest anybody who comes to the hospital to cause chaos. It is you calling yourself a doctor. You sit back and you ask yourself, why should I even blame the minister? And that go to the point to blame the minister's police officer who is guarding him. Is it the responsibility of the police minister's security to arrest somebody at the hospital? But you see, I'm about to the level whereby they are even insulting farmers. When you be minister, now minister, is he a farmer? Yes, he's a farmer, and he's a well-to-do farmer, and he has made a lot of wealth from being a farmer. The same way, reasonable, intelligent people who really want to make decent wealth go into farming, not like fools like you hiding behind titles. Association. So the reason why they have this fight with the minister is all because the minister is not doing what Ajima Medu Dems were doing for them. They were expecting, say, a buy necessary, you know, a candle will come and buy V8 for them. And that the moment they do that, what happens is they say they don't talk your matter. And it's for 8 years, you never saw these pigs speak against any minister. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo made the minister of health, because that is how they saw it. Those ministers were every day, every time sorting them out. Into right now, no, if Akando is here paying this unannounced visit to the hospitals and trying to find answers or solutions to things that they are hiding, no, and now Akando also not giving them that cards, they have ganged up to disgrace and destroy the government. How can you sit on TV and blame a minister into a same way you see, ekosi wo kwabre anka bega minister say on for planning ko na onko solve issue na we kwasia. Now let me talk to the reasonable nurses. Mameka be nchiramo sankofo we, they are using you people for money. I'm telling you. Now as a nurse busa se bibi cry how ewo income prom baby a we adwuma no na so person association we a utia dues ma no de bia you tell salary ma they take some from your salary as an association. Ask yourself as a nurse, since you joined this association, baby a we adwuma, your working condition, so person o pass on a message cry, what are the kind of process a ufem ansana kwasia we ate? Ask yourself. The nurses in Ghana na Moshesa association with Arsenal. Your fundamental problems now, you expect your leadership to even give you a listening here. When you try to call them directly, what do they tell you? They tell you, say, talk to your district director, district head and secretary, talk to your district operations manager, talk to your district head and chairman, before the district chairman can take your complaints and take to the regional before it gets to the national. It's just an association. But they have created those barriers to make themselves feel important. He is doing politics with the nurses. They are using them to make millions. Into the moment any politician comes in as a minister and blocks that path that makes them make money, they start to gang up against the politician. And that is what you are seeing here now. Let me show you something. I have a 7-hour footage of what happened at Eyedien, Eo Ridge. After this show, we released the 7-hour footage, a CCTV. The CCTV footage. Ralph Mokoho, they see it after. It is in a 7-hour footage. Nobody has this. Menkwana is a 7-hour footage. And I'm going to put it out there. You know the reason why they put that short video out for people? It was for propaganda sake. And intina, sa video you could not see a physical assault on any nurse, but they wanted the narrative to look like that. Inti, how long were they at the hospital? Make a rough more. But the video, these people, because this guy we almost shared that hospital was CCTV room, and a 1-minute video. And they circulated it. They gave it to Paul Ademoche and the MPP platforms. And say, let this one look like the nurse was beaten to pulp. And it's our video we are. This is the only video they put out there because they wanted to create the impression, say. But this video is a small part of a video of a 7-hour video. Hwe video ni ye pa. Nurse na omo interview no. Ono na ejina lady na o she red ni chi no. Nurse na o se ya bono no. Nurse we ono na sha tade we hwe ni ye. Nurse we a o ka say. So o she rough video na me chiro na ono na ejina sa ma me na o she red ni chi. This nurse.
When he came in, he wanted us to leave everybody and attend to him. So we explained to him. Ralph.
Okay.
We explained to him. And then he was like, he wouldn't sit down. And my in charge told him to get a card, a hospital card. He just
na mpɛ sɛ mohwɛ atade ɛhyɛ no nti wohwɛ video no a ɔno na gyina ɛyɛ deɛn nurse na ɔhyɛ atade red maame na ɔhyɛ atade red no nti ɔno krampo no the altercation no krampo no anhyɛ da ankɔ no hɔ o. Now, Mami bought the original CCTV. It's a long thing. It's about 7 hours. Now, I'm going to play a bit of it. Time Ralph Erimu. Ralph Tenase. Ralph was asking them, Ralph APA. Do you know, say, time Ralph more hospital, now police in you. There was a police officer in there. Why didn't that police officer arrest Ralph Mo if they were actually causing the chaos they said Ralph them were causing? Do you know, say, Satamana Ralph Mo na call hospital inside. Mu first, Ralph Tanasia or say or they goes or said two in same no. Do you know, say, in that 7-hour video, no, there was a police officer in the police station, in the hospital. There was a police officer on at post. So I want to ask, say, I didn't say police officer no answer Ralph Mo. Say na Ralph Ma de omo ye ho no. Say na Ralph Mo commit crime. I am saying I'm not going to justify any act that is unlawful, but I am talking in context of video na ekuta ye no ene de ye no. That's because sir Ghana Registered Nurses Force Secretary no. He is trying to create the impression that there was no security officer at the hospital when Ralph Dems were there. Now, this is the original CCTV. Because of time, it meant to me about 7 hours in intro. But I'm going to scan through. So what you just watched is when they entered the hospital. Into Omuremono, you could see there was no agitation. It was Rafu when there, Oremuna, Akonya Red or Kachom so. We pra. Now, and then Uncle Fobisun Abaye, Obiso pra serious part channel. And also, make crime then and serious. Now, Omwa want to know what they're serious. So, why are you people not showing any kind of their eagerness or what we call some urgency in your actions? Because media means some now obia or menene ba no they are no more serious than media no. But you could see the body language of the people or the nurses sitting there say they didn't really care that much because the issue is what by emergency obi dey hia chen wo dey. But from what I know, they say so we hospital na say emergency it does not matter the kind of emergency. Somebody needs to come to you. The moment it's an emergency, it could be minute, it could be major. Yan treaty emergency being chambi. And anything a kwasi ampenyi nitina asempaka say obi echiebu no because obi wa nsa tumi twa kete otumi bleediwu obi wa or yarebia sa ade twa na it never stops. Into betuma ka say oh ade na twa nsa keke but that blood will never stop because the system no it does not have those things or whatever you guys call to stop the blood na oozing out into obi wo ha obeba na ne kokromoti keke na ade twa no but sa nipa no ne de ne more dangerous chen obi an na etwa if the sa nipa no oni anything a obetumi aya stopping moja no ye onipa bi wo sa into you don't treat emergencies as this emergency is bigger than this emergency. No. And it's obiaba no I catch or say this is the emergency ward. There is somebody with me who is also in a critical situation like myself. What you do is to give the assistance. It does not matter how big or small the emergency is. But you watch the video, you could see clearly, say, there was no sense of urgency there. You could see, say, he was trying everything possible to make sure, say, and I'm not defending Ralph here. If you are in that situation, maybe Anka would have reacted more than what he did, but it is not right. But the issue, say, when the guy entered the place, you saw it. Now, maybe glance it through. Maybe say 7 hours footage. And see, I am going to go back to the video. There were people, your small boy be a young boy be the nenana baye, nenana. Or the nenana baye, nenana kutaro emergency was in the video. I'll show you. There were nurses there. There were some nurses sitting in rooms, and there was a young man with nenana kutano and ojina ho. And nobody was attending.